For step 2, the setup process, we'll need to group and organize our lead sources under a main lead source. So to get the most recent Infusionsoft contacts that have been added to your system and also the most recent lead sources, you can click these buttons. And if you click download lead sources, this button usually takes, it's pretty quick to download. Now downloading the Infusionsoft contacts could take some time depending on the number of contacts you have. Now, once we are downloading these contacts, we do display a message that says currently downloading API data. If you refresh this page, eventually that message will disappear and these buttons will reappear. So that means we're done downloading your contacts. So once you have the most recent data, you can click here and organize your groups. Now that download process does happen automatically each night or week, but if you wanted to speed it up and update it right then, you can do that. So to set a main lead source, we need to find all the lead sources that need to be categorized. Now I've already categorized a ton of mine. So if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a bunch of lead sources here that have not been categorized yet. So for instance, if I wanted to put all these new Bing leads that are various keywords under just a lead source called Bing, I could check all these guys off, and then what I'm going to do is reassign them to the Bing lead source. Now this number out to the right means there's currently one person in Infusionsoft that has this lead source. 0 means there's nobody assigned to this lead source, but it was created. Scroll up to the main lead source that you want to assign those to. In my case, it's Bing, so I'm just going to check that. And then I'm going to go to the top and click Update Lead Source Groups. Now, if I have 2 groups checked, that's not going to work. So you'll get a message that says you can only select one main lead source because we don't know which main lead source to assign it to. And then it'll say you must select at least one lead source to be moved under a main lead source. So I'm going to uncheck that guy and then hit this button again. So now that's actually assigning the lead sources and then refreshing. So now Bing has all these new lead sources categorized under it. Now what you can do is just do this for the rest of your lead sources that need to be categorized. And if you don't want to, like for instance these posts, if you just want the lead source to stay as Facebook post URL builder or something like that, you can just leave them down here, and iTracker's not going to touch any of these that are not categorized. And if you don't want to have a ton of main lead sources because well, if this lead source is created, I want it to be this lead source, and there will never be multiple lead sources that are going to be called Facebook pay-per-click URL builder because you're setting this stuff explicitly. So it's really up to you on what you want to designate as a main lead source and what you don't want as a main lead source. But typically what you'll do is if there's a bunch of lead sources that really should just be one lead source like Bing, that's where you'll want to organize them. And again, all the ones that you need to organize are down here. The ones you'll want to pay attention to are the ones that have probably contact records assigned to. The ones that are 0, you can pretty much ignore those for now, but at some point contacts might get assigned to those, and so you'll kind of want to organize those. And what will happen is every night, once you have all this stuff set up, every night iTracker's going to update any contacts assigned to these lead sources and just assign them as Google Organic. So once you do organize this stuff, at the bottom of the page you'll have this message that says you have 11 contacts that need their lead sources synced with Infusionsoft. And if I click this link, you'll see all the contacts and what their old lead source is going to be and what their new lead source is going to be. And so that's how you can see what's going to actually happen. And then if you want to look at past lead sources that have been updated, you can click on this and see what's been updated and what's kind of pending right here. If you want to push these changes, you can click push, but you'll need the rest of the setup guide, or you'll need the rest of these steps to step 3 and 4. And for instance, if I click push, I'm probably going to get a message at the bottom that says the pushing is disabled, and I'll cover that in the next videos. But you'll need to organize your lead sources and just spend some time and kind of map that out with how you want this stuff organized. Thanks.